Yacht Club. I'm Steve, and this is Melissa, and we're some Sonar sailors from Norotan, and we came here to give the local Sonar sailors a little seminar and see some improvement today, and we hope they do well in the future. I'm not sure if this jackal might be high enough, it might be a little short, it looks pretty close. One of the things I don't like to have a cleat here because lines, spinnaker lines, I prefer to have an eye there, eye into. Let's see. Other than that, walking back, it looks pretty good on here. One thing we found is that sometimes, because you guys saw those wild attacks and drives we do and stuff, sometimes with just the hook type thing for the spinnaker pole, we tend to flip it out. So that's why we went to that more ring shape to hold it. Let's see. I would suspect this mast is probably centered pretty well because I see it looks like it's about the same position side to side in the partner there. Becca, how do we get to the operating end of the spinnaker halyard? So we can. Do we have to open up the cabin?
It's the green and white on top.
Oh, green and white on top? Right, not spinnaker halyard, not main halyard. Sorry.
What's your combo again?
Yeah, what's that?
1-800-NONA.
The tape onto this halyard, hopefully. Okay. Now hang on one second, Becca, and we'll have you pull it up. See if I get this thing straight on here. Okay, I got it. Okay, go for it.
I had just thought of that.
Yeah. We just pull it up and lock it. That'll work. Okay. So I'll just use a twin block, my point over here. Almost got me going about it. So I have 30 feet, 11 1/4 on this side.
Assuming the twins are there. Are the twin blocks on the same spot?
Right to the
Yeah,
Are
right
the
to
twins equal?
Yeah, right to the toe rail.
Are the twin blocks equal?
Hopefully they are. And I got about 30 feet 11 on this side.
What was it on the other side?
30 feet 11 1/4. So what we would should do is, we don't do it right now, is the quarter right. So it's longer on that side, we have to pull the mast just a little bit this way to get it centered in the boat.
No, before you put it up, if you measure and they're equal, that doesn't matter. It's when it's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it could stretch.
Because one of the things is the chain plates may not be exactly the same. Okay, I gotta tell you one other thing that we do when we take the boat apart, so we put back together in the same place again. We have we do some traveling with the boats. Our boats taken apart a lot, has to be put back together. So we have etched onto our turnbuckles P&S, and so we take them off so they're not flapping around while we're traveling with the boat or the trailer. And then we just leave them the length that they are, and we take the rig down. And we will first pull them up, pull the mast, which way? I don't remember how we take the boat apart.
Why not the belt into it?
Okay. Well, you may travel. You may be going to North America. So you got your boat going fast, you don't want to mess with it. So you pull the mast, you ease the backstay off, pull the mast forward, put the spinnaker halyard up on the onto the tack, up where you hook the tackle for the jib tack. So they push the mast forward, pull like crazy on the spinnaker halyard, and then you get your forestay off. Now with the forestay off and the blocks out, you can tighten up the backstay, loosen these, take these off, then you can take your backstay off. You never have to change the setting when you take the boat apart. Let's see. Now, we talked about last night about the forestay length.
How much different were those two sides?
1/4 inch. So not a lot, but a little bit.
Is it possible the blocks were in a slightly different?
They look like they're the same, pretty much the same size.
Steve, can you use the mast not walk side to side with partners? Make it
Well, only good. I put them on the same amount of head. Like pull it both ways. So that should come out.
So you don't want your crew walking around different sides of the boat, and that's going to heal the boat differently.
It'll make a tiny bit of difference. Yeah. So you try to keep the boat. Yeah, usually you do it when the boat's on a trailer because we're dry sailing. Then it goes always upright. But yeah, you should have to wait in the same positions on each side to check it to make sure it's the same. Another thing, looking at this boat, I was looking at the jib setup here, and you know, we have a bigger ratchet block here, and then a small ratchet block on the car for the jib. So that's makes it a little easier for your crew and encourages them to cleat the thing less and play it more. So, the other thing is on the jib tracks, the holes are kind of far apart. So I would add additional holes in the jib track to make it more fine adjustment on that. Let's see. What else?
How many holes you put in there? How far apart?
I would put right now, you have like a hole, then an inch later you have a screw, but that's been drilled, and then you got another inch. So I'd put the holes, bad holes halfway between the ones that are there.
That's what you're right.
Yeah. It's back here. What do you want to do that back up?
I just hooked it right onto there.
No. Yeah, I think I got a knot in that thing right now. Right in the center. That one? Oh, do that one? Okay. Let's just check with the loose gauge next. The blocks are out. The back stays he's all the way, right? Okay. They should be identical, the two sides. Because there's no blocks, it's not being held from side to side. The lowers aren't doing anything. That's not tight. Okay, about 33, and that's probably a pretty good medium 12 knot setting, something like that.
Sail about 30.
Yeah, and as long as the leeward shrouds come loose when you're going upwind, then it's fine. So if it gets lighter, you might cut down to 30, or if it's really light, even down less to a lower number. Again, as long as the leeward shrouds go slack, you're okay. On the lowers, you have to.
Are you going to check the other side?
Check the other side.
Okay.
You got a 33?
I said it has to be. In theory, it has to be the same. Now we're going to see if theory is right.
Well, the wind is blowing.
Yeah, we'll see how much difference that makes. It was a little different. We're like 32 on this side.
Close enough.
Is it because you're standing in a different spot? Would that make it?
I
I
don't
pull
know.
it, I get 30.
Wind's pushing on the mast, it might be enough to make this side loose.
What if you step on this side of the stays like you were over there?
I'll do it with the forward side again. Okay, I guess the side wind does make that much difference. It is about more like 31 there and like 33 over here right now. So that's
That's the opposite.
no, the wind, it is a little tighter on this side.
Because of the wind?
On this
That's
side.
also the longer.
The side wind.
That also needs to be tightened down.
Didn't feel I was blowing that hard, but again, that's the only thing that can make it different because these are loose. There's nothing else pulling it there. It's not being pushed one way or another here. Oh, one thing on this boat. Take a look at that. Okay, it's better to have the fore guy come out the deck up here. And this is an old way of doing it.
Oh.
Yeah, the mast has a crack in it here.
You know, the full
So, I've heard what do you do when you have a crack in your mast? Or what do you do on getting the insurance company to pay for a new one? And how long it lasts depends on how long you stay on the forestay on. Okay. The other thing you can do is a spar shop to put a sleeve inside there to reinforce the mast there. But that should last you a while. Because right now, you see there's the mast is cracked about 3/4 of an inch around each side.
Yeah.
This hole.
You're about ready to go there.
So, yeah.
Take it on the big blow and get rid of your force thing.
Yeah. Then there's no
Take the
argument
pin out of the
insurance
force.
company. But remember, I didn't say that. Put that on film.
That happened to me. I had fatigue during the races.
You should say for a fee. For a
Right.
fee.
So, but
So,
it breaks
yeah, we had
while
that,
you're sailing,
that's the way
you
our
can
old mast
pay
was
for it.
before it broke. And,
don't want to
yeah, we
kill
broke
you.
it in Marblehead #5. So, okay. Right now, it feels a little tight, so it's kind of hard to say. One of the things is that when you're going to sight up, when you're sailing, you're going to sight up your eyeballs close to the can to the track on this side. Or else you can see there's a little seam in the little groove in the forward side of the mast. And you're going to want the mast right at the spreaders when you sight up to be the leeward or the forestay and upper shrouds attached. If you have a straight line coming from there down to here, you want the spreaders to be about 3/4 of an inch to the leeward of that line. And I think right now, I bet your mast will probably be about straight side to side when you're sailing upwind. So you might want to loosen this up a little bit.
You want it to fall off the leeward a little?
Right. You want to loosen it up so it falls off the leeward a little bit.
How we need it to be before you pull it into column?
I think what it is, like a light and medium air, it'll be down to leeward. If you just leave your setting there, when you get in the heavy air and the upper shroud will stretch enough, it'll come pretty close in the column on its own.
What if the tip falls off
And the tip above the shrouds, can't do anything about that.
that's normal.
Yeah, that's beyond your control once it gets above those upper shrouds. Okay. So, I use, nipple high, okay? At my height for checking the measurement. Well, that might be pretty good. But that looks like about a 6-inch range there. We had the tape and marked it. We could, reproduce that and see what.
Usually we do about an 8-inch.
Yeah, it seems like we got a little looser,
We're about an 8-inch.
but I think, yeah.
That's chest height.
I was doing it this way.
Yeah, when we set the boat up, yeah, and then it seems like I say, as the upper shroud stretches, the mast goes straighter. The upper shroud stretch.
Measure him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's should we measure to his?
What's that?
So it's probably to our
Shoulder
shoulder.
height, right. Yeah, I see you have a piece of pipe here. It's kind of rusty. It looks plenty strong enough. In salt water, it'll get real rusty. That's why we have all boats of these have those like 1-inch cubes of stainless to do the same thing. Let's see. Just to get the thing out of the way, I've sawn off this off the end of my boom because we have there's a slug to go in the mast, so that just kind of gets the way and catches on things. I was noticing something else coming back. Oh, how does the bang work? Does that work pretty well? Yeah. I hadn't seen it rigged that way before, but it looks like it works fine, probably.
The only thing is the bail on the mast.
Yeah.
It's broken before, but I replaced it.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a little light.
And it does raise up the
Right.
bail.
And
That's the way it was.
I think that would help fatigue the mast by having those screws in that bail thing.
Well, that was the original spot,
Yeah.
and so I didn't want to add additional holes into
Right.
it, so all I did was replace it.
yeah, it looks like you could use something heavier than that bail. Also, these blocks. I think we would if you put as much bang on as we put on in the heavy air. I think you'd break that block. And like I say, the heavy air is important to get out the bang on hard, so you can keep control downwind. Let's see. I know all the boats in the east have the compass. Usually, you have it up here. I see you have the
Just
tactic.
last year.
Right.
That has yet to come off.
And that's we were long-time holdouts with the regular traditional compasses. We always had it mounted on the mast because the skipper should never look at it. That's the crew's job. Crew keeps track of the compass course, and the skipper keeps track of going fast. But yeah, with the tactic there, you can get rid of the compass here. The other thing is we have the short traveler cars, the short Hartman traveler cars. If the main sheet's tight enough in hard air, in heavy air, you'll crush the balls in the short traveler cars. Usually put the Torlon balls in, so we go to the same style car but longer.
Oh,
They have a
spec on that?
longer one. Then when you crank on the main sheet, you don't have balls bouncing around the boat. So, let's see. Oh, maybe hang the boom up from that. Bang off. Get the main sheet off. Okay. The other thing on the boat here, I'll put the mainsail over so you guys can see it better. Okay, so we have 5 to 1 on the main sheet. Deck is not quite as big as I am, so you probably need that when it's blowing hard. One thing I would do though is instead of use a bowline here, I would just run the line through, put a figure 8 knot in it. Then when the wind gets lighter, you can ease the sheet between races so they can pull the thing down, undo the figure 8, take a part or 2 out, tie a figure 8 at the end again, and then sail with that in the lighter air. Because with the 5 to 1, it really slows down the trimming and easing. So you can just handle the boat faster if you take parts out when it gets lighter.
When you go down them, do you sometimes grab the whole everything?
Yeah, it's like for jiving. I never pump that
when
way
you're going
because
down.
I have long enough. Some people do. I have long enough arms, and also with the bridle, it tends to be going forward, so you have to reach further forward to get a hold of it. Some people pump that way by grabbing all the parts and pumping. I have long arms, so I can go like that with it. So, and also I'm not using 5 to 1. I never use more than 4 to 1, so I have a little bit of advantage there getting the long arms. So I can just always trim right from the end. One thing that's nice, if they can see it from this side better, we have a fixed block here and a fixed lead position here. We like to have a block on a what is hand eye or whatever everything is, eye strap here, and then have a cleat here, so in light air, the crew can adjust it from the leeward side, and so we don't put the strap over the cleat here, so it's free to move to either position. Other than that, main sheet block looks good, and it's nice having the double block and the double block that shortens the stack instead of using the fiddle and the block of the block of the beckon. I think the backstay has more parts than you need. Bigger blocks too. You can use put the double block right on the end of the wire, but the smaller one, like the size block you have on the forward side of the transom there, the bullet blocks. Yeah, that would be big enough for there. It would be big enough for the back side, the aft block there, and then a double bullet block on the end of the wire.
Well, she's got a cascade there. See that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'd get rid of all that. You don't need anywhere near that much load on the backside.
What do you use for 6 to 1 or
Just 4 to 1.
4 to 1?
Yeah, just have a double bullet block at the top, and then the 2 bullet blocks on the forward side of the transom, and then a single bullet block on the eye on the top of the transom there. Let's see. I think of anything else for boat preparation. How does your bang work? Does that work pretty well for? Can you adjust it when you're going upwind, or is it? Sometimes you get to a leeward mark, your outhaul is eased off, and you have to trim it. You have to adjust it while you're going upwind. You have to go and pull it in. So I think right now we have an 8 to 1 block and tackle inside the boom.
What's your rule of thumb on using the boom bank? If it's moderate
Oh,
air,
boom bank. We adjusted some. So
to keep the boom kind of level.
well, in example, like upwind, sometimes if we have trouble getting enough main sheet tension, because I'm feeling a little whip that day, I'll put some bang on to help me. And going downwind, we just kind of look at the sail. It's easy to have too much bang on going downwind in light air. You don't want the leech hooks so the telltales aren't streaming. Especially in light air a little more. You want to make sure the telltales are streaming off the top end. So basically it's as tight as we can get it and still keep the telltale streaming. One thing I was going to say on the outfall, it was one of the new, if your block doesn't turn very well here, we put one of the Harken wire blocks, Harken through deck wire blocks in here. It feels like this one's moving pretty freely, and ours was kind of old and wasn't turning, so we replaced it. But I think this one's probably still okay.
Fresh water.
Yeah, fresh water, yeah. Well, it is. I think they're brass pulleys and stainless steel things, and I think the brass gets kind of funny after a while with salt. Yeah, I think again, if you do your roll tacks right, you won't need the thingy at the top of the mast there.
Plus the tape.
What's that?
Plus the tape. Tape on the sail.
Oh yeah, and then right, the tape on the tape around the upper back end of the upper back pocket to make it nice and smooth so it slips past. Let's see. Oh, I know. I was just looking at those. So when you're sailing with 3 people, it's handy for the skipper to take the guy and trim it. And
That doesn't look like. Oh wait.
so the skipper, sitting here, trim this. We have our cleat down against the. I'll try this side. We have our cleats down this way, just to make it so this isn't sticking up and torching your roots. It's probably a little more convenient for the trimming up here, but we'll probably complain more. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. Okay, the winch. What's the winch for? Halyard? Right.
You could get rid of that.
Yeah,
You could do it underneath.
yeah. I'd run the jib halyard.
Go through the mast.
I'd
open
put a
it.
hole down further in the mast on the side and do it down there. And not use the winch. Okay, we have, coming out the back side of the penny cabin here, one of these for us is the jib halyard, the course, the jib halyard itself. Then we have on a swivel, and it was underneath, we have a swivel upside down in here, so we swing it out of the way to close the door and then swing it back when we're sailing. So somebody here, just reaching here, can just grab it and play it from the
For the fine tune.
So as the wind goes up and down, we're more likely to play our jib halyard than Becky is with the winch. So we'll sail past it if we do anything. So lose the winch. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, if you ever have any problem with this not staying steady,
Yeah.
one of the things we've done with ours is, if you take this tactic little bracket off of here, you can get yourself a piece of Delrin, cut out that shape on like a 3/8 inch thick Delrin, and have drill and tap 2 screws that go right in the center of the back of the mast to hold it on, and then screw this to that piece of Delrin. It's a little bit more compact and catches the. We haven't broken it off yet. It's a little more secure than the strap is. Let's see. More than that lock around.
You have a jib fine tune.
Okay, good. Use some thin ones here. She has some 1/8 inch thick, looks like mast blocks here that you can adjust it pretty finely. Other than that, it all looks fine. See anything, Melissa, that you need to comment on?
Does she have a mast puller to help keeping it under her sail?
I don't see one. One of the things that we've done with our boat is run more of the lines down to the bottom of the mast and then back up here. So then it makes it easier to push the mast back and forth at this level, because you don't have all these lines pulling after that level. Oh, twings. Right. When you're not using your twing for your spinnaker, and you're going upwind, it was a little low. The middle crew usually has nothing to hold on to. So you use a twing as something to hold on to so you don't fall out. So if this was a couple inches longer, your crew could lean out a little more. One thing I found in the middle crew, when I'm in the middle crew on a boat, you try to hike out this way, it puts an awful lot of compression in your spine. And I've had back surgery already, so don't need that again. So if the twing's a little longer, you can use that line or something to hold on to so you don't fall out. Other thoughts?
Could you talk about crew weight, where you position your crew when you're? Do you have 4 people usually?
Yeah, people on here. Okay, Becca's here already. We only need one more. Oh, I got 5. That's okay. Okay.
Well, you do this.
Okay, Becca, you're gonna be the
Okay.
skipper. Now let's undo this. Oh, that's the easy one. Huh? There you go. Okay, let's stretch this thing out. Okay, Becca, up there. Right. Okay, there's the skipper position. Your butt all the way out against the aluminum rail. And so that's where the skipper would normally be on one tack or the other. And then she'll slide back a little bit to tack her drive. But you're going to have a great view of the bow going into the water, great view of the jib, and good position to get the boat flat. So the rest of the crew moves wherever they need to go to keep the boat flat, to keep her there. And downwind, going upwind, well, same role, we'll pretend we're on your side. We'd be shoulder to shoulder, that would be shoulder to shoulder right next to us. And then as the wind gets lighter, we move our way in. We need to keep the boat level. And then going downwind,
Everybody in front of the camera, huh?
yeah, everybody in front of the trailer.
Do you have a preference downwind? The skipper should be leeward or windward?
Windward. I always like to be windward. I have a better view of the sails that sail on the water going that one. Then going downwind, the spinnaker trimmer will be, the spinnaker trimmer, I'll be standing probably like this area, around here, good view of the spinnaker. There'll be the other two crew being all where those guys are. Is that right, Lisa?
Sorry.
We're going downwind, back to steer there. Well, it depends how it balances. In the lighter air, one would both be over here, and the heavier air, one would be over here. And
But you keep the boat flat.
yeah, just keep the boat downwind dead level, yeah. Now, let me do something here. Let me see if we can do this. Okay, I'm gonna be skipper for a minute, and what do is all wacky like that. You guys move around the boat level. So get as far as the crew. Okay, so I'm here. Okay, so I'm out here. If they move in, I'm moving in. So as the skipper, as he goes through waves, sometimes you ever been like powerboat waves are really close together? It's really loud to be like that, fighting the waves, keep the boat level. So I say level every second, I mean level every second. Bass straight up, and then the only time you're going to heel a little bit is on one bear away, heel some, a little bit, want to heavily in, trim the main a little bit. So the tiller, it's funny, I use a tiller probably less than anybody going downwind in the rudder. And our spinnaker trimmer, if I get lazy and I'm not moving my body and I start steering at the tiller, he can feel the boat slowing down and I get yelled at. So it does make a difference. The rudder, going downwind will slow you down if you use it. So you might just do a little fine trim with it, but you want to do most of the work with your weight and with the main sheet, mostly with your weight, to keep the boat level and going fast. Okay, anything else? Oh, sometimes we're sitting on a big course, you're looking for wind. One of the crew will be standing on the cabin top there behind the mast, looking aft, looking for the puffs and looking where we get the breeze, from. And especially in light air, you can put plenty of weight forward and keep the transom from dragging. I think that's all I can think of. Is that good? Any questions? What's that? Oh, right. The mast blocks. So it looks like, we'll see how many blocks we got here behind the mast to start with. Looks like maybe about an inch or a little more space there. Yeah, about an inch. So with the mast neutral, you should have that much in. So, and again, this is going to be different with every boat. And with some boats, the mast is actually touching here when you're beforehand. And we actually have a bracket for our vang that goes here and fills up some of the space. So we usually have a 1/4 inch. Becca has about an inch here of space behind the mast. So if she wants to pull it forward and say, what's an inch and 1/4 here? Come here. Okay, good to pull. We get a couple of these in at a time.
It's the bait.
We have a load on back in the back. 2. Okay, we got some of them. Another pull. Okay, ready? Yeah. There we go. And see, we got one more of these things in. Okay, go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So, I don't know. I'm guessing you might sail about there. Is that about right?
You got a blue line over here, right? Center of the mast on this side.
Yeah, that was some tape I
That seems
put
like
on
an awful
keep
lot
it
behind the mast.
It does. Seems like a lot.
Yeah. Well, it seems maybe well, that'll be a lot for my boat because I don't have that much space to start with.
I have about 50 behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I have
Yeah. This boat has a lot of space there to start with, so I only added this much, and that's.
Seems like
I might have 1 3/8 there. I might go a little less. I might take out the big. This one looks like about 3/8. I might take those out and put
You
in
should with an inch and a quarter
beyond the neutral
beyond
position.
neutral.
So right now I might be 1 3/8 lighter air setting.
Inch and a quarter beyond.
Oh yeah, we
Just a
Can you
little
bring
bit
the mast
more.
more forward?
1 and a quarter inches below where you
One
are.
more.
Last year, no blocks.
Right, no blocks. Yeah, that's what we consider neutral. Okay, there you go.
Moved it 3 times all year.
Blocks in, figure out
Yeah, just so we. Because everybody's going to start with a different number for a neutral position. That distance varies at all different boats. So we talk to each other. We can do the same thing. You're starting from when there's nothing in there, and then adding to that.
Just try it, Becca. An inch to an inch and a half you're adding.
Yeah.
Try it next time you go out. Put it about an inch, inch and an eighth or something. See if that helps your pointing a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. What it'll do is, especially in the light air, it's a little more sag in your head stay. We have to push forward more here, and so get a little more power in the jib, which give you more speed in the light air.
And then you said if it's really blowing, do you block or not?
Yeah, but just a little bit straighter. Usually we just leave an inch and a quarter, even when it's blowing pretty hard, and then maybe push another half inch at max in there if it's really light.
Inch and a half kind of neutral is as much as you ever
Inch and a quarter. Sometimes you go up to inch and 3/4 if it's really, really, really light, but usually inch and a quarter, and then in lighter air, inch and a half, and really drifting, inch and 3/4 from the neutral spot. Again, that might be a little bit different with a north sail or say with the bottom sails, but I think I'm talking with Peter Galloway. I think it's pretty similar to what he's doing.
But the key is to do it.
Yeah. Imagine starting that neutral position with swing and nothing in there. So, any other questions?
So if you're going to make a recommendation to Becca's shrouds, what would you say?
For her shrouds, especially for this breeze now, I think the uppers are going to work out just fine. When you go out, try to sight up the mast and see if you have a little sag to do with the stutters. So this might need just a little bit, but it's pretty close.
So if I didn't have sag,
Yeah. Just ease the lowers a little bit.
so you can go for about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of sag.
Right. Yeah, the medium air will 3/4 inch of an inch of sag. So you just ease the lowers off, but it'll sag off with the stutters.
Did you mention the forestay length yet?
We didn't talk about that. What was the forestay length?
Yes, if you want to adjust that, I know we talked about that last night.
It's
Yeah.
7 there, 11:30
Well-
seconds, and I think that's not
Is
right.
there any way to know what it should be from tension or by looking up the mast or can
no,
you only do it by length?
I think by length and how the boat feels going upwind. Just how the helm feels going upwind.
Okay.
And
And there are class rules that you have to.
yeah, there are class minimums and maximums. I don't recall if they are though, but I think it's something like. It was a big rain.
Yeah.
I don't remember, so I don't think we come anywhere close.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't think we come anywhere close to going outside it. I know 25-10 is okay. I know 26 is okay. So you probably don't be more than 26 feet. You probably don't be less than 25-10 ever. So you have to worry about the rules on that. Just speed.
Okay. And how do you measure it? Why don't you measure
Right.
that?
It's easier to measure when it's down. You have to hoist it up. There are ways I have to do it without hoisting up the mast, but it's measured from the T-ball fitting on top, where it makes contact. The contact point on the T-ball fitting on the top of the forestay, down to the center of the pin. So it's easier to do it when it's lying on the grass. So that's what we measured ours, and then for the different numbers on our turnbuckle, we wrote down what that distance is, so we could have an idea where we're at. And, So, yeah, I would, you know, just based on what people are doing on the East Coast and what we're experimenting with forestay length for different wind conditions. So I would, you know, make it so your forestay is adjustable. So even if, you know, maybe I just adjust it one weekend to the next, but just so you can try different lengths and see how it works in different conditions.
Any other questions?
Would you adjust it a half-inch in a half-inch increment?
Or like, actually for ours, each number is about 3/8
Okay.
on the turnbuckle, so we'd probably adjust that. Oh, one other thing I noticed on the, again, it depends how ambitious you are in terms of making things and having something made for you. Becca has the aluminum plate at the bottom of the mast. That's the one that the size that came with the boat originally. We made a little wider aluminum plate, so we have a place to put fittings in. Because we found that when we first had the boat, we had some, you know, screwed into the fiberglass at the bottom or on the mast, and we pulled some of those out. And so now we have everything bolted to that it's a quarter-inch aluminum plate. It was made like the one that's down there, except a bit wider, so you have some place to bolt into it. Then you can attach your fittings there. It'll be nice and solid.
How are you adjusting your forestay length for wind velocity?
Okay, on ours, we have the ones, the Ron Sand ones with a handle on it. So between races, we'll ease up the jib height a little bit. Actually, we'll unshackle the tack of the jib so it's out of the way, and the guy can turn it. And then there's the numbers on there. You just look at the end of the stud where it lines up with the number. And we have it so as soon as we put the handle down, it locks it again. And so far that seems to be working well. We just haven't figured out the exact numbers yet.
If it goes right,
We go longer,
you make it lock.
right, and heavier air quarters.
Light, loose, light, loose.
Yeah.
You know, memorize it that way. Okay.
Heavy,
Okay.
Not anything else.
What about your spinnaker rings?
Oh, spinnaker ring. I see this one's a little bent, but I think the height is set by class rules. Those look like the normal positions.
Do you normally go on the top ring of your boat? Or?
Except unless it's really light. You know, whenever possible, it goes in the top ring. Actually, and heavy, and whenever possible, it's in the top ring with jaws open up. And then what's really nasty, ugly light, we put a lower ring with jaws open down. Then when you jive the sheep, the guy has a drop on it because it's really light. So hopefully you're always sailing enough wind that the wind lifts it out. But not always, so we flip it over. So it drives down really light stuff.
Sail downwind, you frequently let loose on the spinnaker higher, about 10 inches.
Yeah, we go, you know, about 12 inches sometimes if it's going dead downwind.
Is that in all kinds of wind conditions?
Yeah, unless it's, the only time we don't is if it's like really nasty chop and the thing's bouncing around too much, it might do like the 6 inches off. But when we're reaching, that's when the pole's back. When we're reaching with a pole, you know, out here somewhere, then we hoist it up all the way. I think we got it covered.
I got a little question.
Oh, yeah.
Under sail, when you're jibing, I'm kind of in the habit of helping the main over, but I noticed that you didn't do that. You just always just let the main do its own
the
thing.
skipper could just sometimes just get going a little sooner. The skipper can give a little flick with the tail of the main sheet.
You don't ever grab the.
No,
the
because
bundle
you have to be in the boat too far to reach that.
Oh, okay.
So if you can reach it, you're too far in.
Oh, okay.
You're not rolling hard enough.
That makes sense.
you made it just
Oh, except with a spinnaker up. I think it's what I was doing here before. Yeah, with a spinnaker up, especially going. So the spinnaker up, I pull it.
Okay.
When you drive?
Which sometimes if it's really, really, really blowing, you might need help from the crew.
Right.
Yeah. When we're doing jives, without it, then we don't touch it. We just roll it.
Okay.
Does that slow you down though, if you're pulling it against the wind?
Well, what it is, just having your weight in the wrong position slows you down. So one thing about it, I always think of, I forgot how many times more dense water is than air. So I'm really concerned about the hull going through the water. Water is heavy stuff. You got to be nice to it. Air, you can kind of forget that a lot. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? We had a bunch.
Yeah, what's for lunch?
Yeah, that's a good question.
When you jibe, do you jibe the boom first and then the pull, or the other way around,
Okay.
or do we want that to be less than
I'll
two?
pretend I'm in Melissa.
Okay.
That'll be a shorter. Okay, imagine the pole out here. So she's going to take it off the mast. And as the boat's bearing, she's not going to take it off the guy until the boat's bearing away dead downwind. When the boat's dead downwind, so it'll stay out in front of the boat and not sag off the lure. She'll unclip it from the guy. You come over, put it on the old sheet, the new guy. And when she has it on, sometimes we're kind of in a hurry, and I just kind of know when it's on. I see it starting to push, then we'll jibe. But usually she'll say on or made or something like that, so I know it's on. When it's on, that's when we swing the boom.
Okay.
And at the same time we're swinging the boom, she's pushing the pole out and forward.
So when she says made, it's made on the sheet,
Made
not
on
on
the
the map.
Right, made on the sheet.
Oh.
And
then-
I'll hold it out, so it's not
Yeah.
out this way. It won't go on the mast for a while.
Right.
Even after they've got it filled, I'm going to keep holding it out there
Okay.
until it fills all the way. And then once everything's settled down, then I'll put it on the mast.
All right.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, she says that because we can't see that. I can see when she puts it on here.
So when does it come off of the old
As
sheet?
soon as he tells me.
Either way, as soon as I tell her, or if she sees that the spinnaker has moved around, is pulled nicely out there, it's not going to get blocked by the main, then she can take it off the old one. Because if you do it too early, the spinnaker will collapse.
Right. So you'll have them both attached for a while?
Actually, well, for a while, neither one is attached. Nothing's
Okay.
attached to the pole. It's just the spinnaker's just out there by itself.
Okay.
And the crew, the spinnaker trimmer's going to get that, as the boat turns, say we're on starboard tack, reaching a bit on starboard, as the boat turns, the spinnaker trimmer's going to get that spinnaker from over here, to over here. So we'll probably be actually by the lee a little bit when we actually swing the boom over. And so the spinnaker will be out there by itself, and it'll stay out there by itself too until we swing it and she pushes it out, so that as the main goes one way, the spinnaker goes the other. So the main is blocking the spinnaker just for about a second. And we tried all kinds of things in light air in terms of what's the best timing of the jibe. But heavy air, you're only turning maybe 10 degrees. It's a very small turn. You might turn 15 degrees, just get a little speed coming out of the jibe, then bear away the jibe again. But in light air, you might be jibing 90 degrees, 100 degrees. You're making a big turn. So what we found is that maybe people who do it faster, they're more skilled than we were, but we found that in terms of the crew keeping the spinnaker full, we just turn nice and slow. Wait the windward to steer the boat into the turn. And you have to heel it some to get the boat to turn, 90 degrees. You don't want to do it all on the rudder and slow down. So just nice and slow, so the spinnaker can move the spinnaker around and keep the thing in control the whole time. And then when she puts the pole on, we swing the boom, bring the boat back level again, and accelerate out as we dive. So that's the plan. Any other questions?
You mentioned you don't use a flicker. We use a flicker. What's the disadvantage of not using the flicker? Why should we?
I don't like the windage. It kind of just doesn't look right. I like to have roll things clean as possible up there. We cut the arms off our little guide arms off the masthead fly. All we have is a small masthead fly up there. So we have as little up there as we can for windage. And if you do the roll tacks right in the light air, and you have a piece of tape on your upper batten, it shouldn't ever get stuck on the backside. Again, sometimes you screw up a tack and get stuck, so you have to go back and flip the backside to get off, but that should be a very rare event. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is lunch ready?
I hope so. I'm hungry.
Almost ready.
Is it, John, you know? Yeah. Where's Chris for the Baldy?
It's probably getting around lunch ready.
He's probably getting ready. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Lunchtime?
Steve.
I have a question.